Hello everyone, welcome to Quilting Days with Jamie Faye. Today I am on day 6 of the October 2025 Quilting Challenge, where we are walking through Ranae Merrill's book, Free Motion Mastery in a Month. Yesterday, day 5, I finally decided on which thread I want to use for the two different quilts that I'm going to be using. So yesterday I decided to use the Aurifil white. It is a 40 weight and I like it because I can see it better than the Superior thread 60 weight. 60 weight is smaller and I was able to actually see the white better. On the back I am using the variegated turquoise, so I am excited about that. I finally made a decision. So this was block number 3. I am going to go back and redo the other 2, try to take out the stitching if it's possible. If not, I'll just see if I can make some more blocks. Another thing I was struggling with on this print quilt, as you know, I'm doing 2 different quilts. I was really struggling with what do I outline. I know in previous videos I showed you what I was planning to outline. I finally made up my mind and changed from the earlier decision. So what I am outlining here is just where this white is, the scallop around each design is what I am outlining. I decided to use red thread, solid red thread on the front and the back. So it's not a lot of stitching so far, but we will be going back and adding to that later on. All right, so now we are on day 6 today. And today we're adding a different tracing page, which is the lines tracing sheet. So if you have that, you can get started. You can look at it in the book also. The lines tracing sheet is on page 115 in Ranae Merrill's book. And so you can make a copy of that, put it in a page protector or laminate it, use a dry erase pen if you do not have the toolkit. Of course, we do want to begin with the basic shapes. We're going to start with that and the lines tracing sheet. Before doing our tracing, the assignment for today, which is listed on page 50, day 6, talks about quilting yoga. So to know more about that, Ranae Merrill has actually made a video that I will link in the description box that you can go to and do the quilting yoga with her. But right now, I've already done the quilting yoga with her, and so now I'm going to trace the basic shapes and the lines. Now I'm going to trace the sheet, but just as a reminder, you can move the sheet in different directions when you are sketching or using the ruler to help us learn the different ways that this can be done. So I'm going to actually turn it this way. I'm going to start on the parallel lines and I'm going backwards and tracing the parallel lines with the red dot, trying to keep my hands as even as possible. So today is where our sketchbook comes in, where we start to draw some of these line shapes. if you call them a shape. So I'm going to actually start with straight line stippling. I'm going to do it first, where you just get a line and you're crossing over each line one time. All right, so I'm going to practice that on my sketch pad here. All right, of course it doesn't have to look exactly like the paper there. So this is what I ended up with today. So you can do several other different types of shapes like this using straight line stippling, straight line daisy, your chain of squares to get us kind of in the routine of the different line designs. I want to show you a little bit of my setup because I've changed around since we are doing this 30-day challenge. I want to be able to have easy access to my sewing machine in a place where I am a lot. Even if we're watching TV at night, I can sew. My husband and daughter are real sweet to let me sew while they're watching TV and while I'm watching TV. So let me turn this around and show you my setup. I call this my portable sewing room. I have a kitchen chair here. I have a cabinet that I found in a thrift store here that has rollers on the bottom, and I leave it in a bedroom normally, but it opens up. The sewing machine can actually go down in it, and I have a wooden top that can go there, and I can actually just put this against the wall if I don't want it standing out. But this is where I try to do my work when I'm having to do a lot every day, and I want to be able to not be removed from the whole family in a different part of the house. And then I also got this on Facebook Marketplace, and it is a roller on wheels. It's an ironing board that can be expanded, and then I can put my blocks down here in these baskets to be able to pull out along with my thread and get the job done. So this is my setup during the day when I'm wanting to just quilt around one block very quickly. I can get to it, plus I can do my other projects that I'm working on, do a little bit at a time, and then get back to other things that I'm doing like cooking or washing, folding clothes, all those things that we have to do, right? But anyway, I'm gonna get to work now on sewing around the large motifs again for I think it's the 4th day. Be sure to be numbering your blocks so you can see the progress you've made. So I ended up and did the other flowers. Here's the back with the variegated thread, and the front with the white Aurifil thread. So I do the circles first in the middle, and then I go out and do the petals around it. I do want to share with you a little bit of something I learned today. Every day we can learn something new. So as I was sewing around these larger shapes, my red thread kept breaking, and it did that yesterday. It was fraying and breaking, and so I decided I needed to probably change to a larger needle size. So I was using the 8012 top stitch needle, and so I changed to the 9014 top stitch needle, and it is actually working better as of now. So I'll update you that later as I sew more, but after I started using this, the thread, the Finesse 50 weight thread was not breaking. I did look up information about what needle to use with the Finesse thread, and it did suggest the 8012. So evidently it just wasn't working with my machine and the fabric that I'm using. So sometimes you might have to play around with your needles to determine what's working best for you, for your machine, for your fabric. So have lots of fun with today's lesson, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.